Do you know when you feel a strange tremor in your eyelid? Something very mild, almost imperceptible. It started like that, you know? An annoying twitch in the left eye, coming and going. At first, I didn't pay much attention. I thought, oh, tiredness, stress, everyone goes through it. I'd massage my eyelid, blink harder, have a coffee, and carry on with the day. But the truth was, it wouldn't go away. It stayed there, bothering me like a constant warning. I began to notice it happening more often when I was under pressure, at work, or after a night of poor sleep. Stress, I'd repeat to myself, trying to convince myself it was just temporary. I even searched the internet, of course. Eyelid spasms. What could it be? Guess what? Tiredness, lack of magnesium, all mundane things. I bought a vitamin supplement, tried to sleep earlier, but the tremor persisted. And then one day, in the middle of an important meeting, the twitch spread. It wasn't just the eyelid, it was half of my face. The mouth twitched on its own. My voice faltered. It was right there, at that exact moment, that it dawned on me. It wasn't just tiredness. It was something much more serious. I needed help. Hi, everyone. My name is Grace. I'm 27 years old, and up until recently, my life was like that of any other person. Work, friends, family, plans for the future, a normal routine, without major ups and downs. But suddenly, everything changed. An unexpected turn of events showed me that life can surprise us when we least expect it. And I'm not talking about a promotion at work or an unexpected trip. I'm talking about something much deeper, something that made me rethink everything. I decided to share my story because I know I'm not alone. I know many people go through similar situations, sometimes in silence, out of fear or shame, and I want them to know they don't have to face this alone. I want to alert and inform others about the importance of listening to our own bodies, of paying attention to the signals they give us, because often we ignore these signals, thinking it's just stress or just tiredness. I did that myself, and I deeply regret it. I know I made mistakes, that I took too long to seek medical help, but I also know that by sharing my experience, I can help others not make the same mistakes. I want to turn my story into a tool for awareness and prevention. I want to show that even in the face of a difficult diagnosis, it's possible to find the strength to move forward. My intention is not to preach, far from it, just to show my vulnerability and create a space for you to relate. If my story can help at least one person, it will have been worth it. At first, it was just that tremor in the eye, really. An annoying thing, but bearable. It's stress, I repeated to myself, trying to convince myself. Life was hectic, you know? Work demanding too much, tight deadlines, constant pressure. Who hasn't felt that way? So, I thought it was normal, that a few good nights of sleep would fix everything, but they didn't. The trembling came and went, and over time, I started to feel other things. A persistent headache that accompanied me all day long, a feeling of extreme tiredness, even after sleeping well. But again, the same justification, it's stress. And to relieve the headache, I took painkillers. Ibuprofen, dipyrone, those medications we always have at home, you know? That seemed to solve everything quickly. They helped to some extent, but only for a while. The pain came back stronger. And the tiredness? Oh, the tiredness. That was the worst of all. I felt exhausted all the time. No energy for anything. But again, I blame myself. I need to exercise more, eat better. I started taking vitamins, B complex, thinking it would give me a boost. It worked for a few hours, but then everything came back again. And the trembling? It persisted, steady and strong. Sometimes it even got worse. I started feeling sharp pains in the head, quick jolts, but again I ignored it. It's just muscular tension, I thought. Did stretches, quick neck massages, tried to relax, but nothing worked. The truth is I was fooling myself. I was neglecting the signs my body was giving me. The routine consumed me. Work, home, commitments. There was no time left to take care of myself. I prioritized everything except my health. And that was a serious mistake. A mistake that almost cost me dearly. Because while I worried about meeting deadlines and pleasing others, epilepsy was quietly settling into my body without my noticing. And one day, it decided to manifest itself more intensely. And then, there was no way out. I had to stop. I had to take care of myself. I had to prioritize my health. But I confess, I took too long. The headache, which was once bearable, began to intensify. From a slight twinge, it became a constant, throbbing pressure that prevented me from concentrating. At work, it was agonizing. I tried to disguise it, smile. But the truth is that every word, every email, every spreadsheet felt like too heavy a burden. Meetings became a torment. The light from the computer screen irritated me. The noise bothered me, and the pain pulsed in my head, preventing me from following the conversation. I started to miss work, making up feeble excuses. I have a strong flu, I would say. I need to rest. But the truth was that I was afraid. Afraid of having a crisis in the middle of the office. Afraid that people would notice that something was wrong. At home, the situation wasn't any better. The pain made me irritable, impatient. I fought over everything, isolated myself in my room, avoided contact with people. My friends began to drift away. They didn't understand why I was so different, so distant. They invited me to go out, but I always made up an excuse. I'm tired, I would say. I need to stay at home. But the truth was that I was ashamed. Ashamed to show that I was no longer the same person. The cheerful, fun person who was up for anything. The activities that used to bring me joy became a burden. going to the gym, dancing, hanging out with friends. Everything seemed like a huge effort. Even the simplest tasks, like cooking or cleaning the house, became a challenge. The pain left me exhausted, with no energy for anything. I started having trouble sleeping. The pain prevented me from relaxing, from finding a comfortable position. I spent hours tossing and turning in bed, trying to fall asleep, but it was futile. And when I finally managed to sleep, I woke up with the pain even stronger. Physical limitations began to manifest. I struggled to walk, to climb stairs, to carry weight. My legs felt weak, my arms trembled. Sometimes I felt sharp pains in my spine that would freeze me for a few seconds. It was as if my body was rebelling against me, and I, powerless, watched it all happen, not knowing what to do. Frustration and despair consumed me. I felt trapped in a body that no longer obeyed me, a body that betrayed me every day. I felt helpless, vulnerable, lost. And the worst part was having to hide all of this from the people around me. I was afraid of worrying them, of being judged, of being seen as weak. So I pretended to be fine, smiled, made jokes. But inside, I was falling apart. Every day was a struggle to keep up appearances, to hide the pain, to survive. And deep down, I knew that this situation couldn't last forever. I needed help. I needed to find a way out, but fear paralyzed me. On the day I finally decided to seek medical help, I could hardly get out of bed. The headache was excruciating, my vision blurred, and my legs trembled so much that I was afraid of falling. But the last straw was when, trying to get a glass of water in the kitchen, my hands simply froze. They became stiff, as if made of stone. At that moment, fear completely overtook me. I realized I could no longer ignore the signs of my body. I needed help, and I needed it now. I called a friend, my voice choked with tears, and asked her to take me to the hospital. The wait in the emergency room seemed like an eternity. Every minute was torture, with the pain throbbing in my head and anguish gnawing at my chest. Finally, I was called in for the consultation. The doctor, a man with gray hair and a serene look, listened attentively, asked a few questions, and examined me carefully. At the end of the consultation, he requested a battery of tests: MRI, EEG, blood tests. The list seemed endless. The following days were pure agony. The wait for the results was unbearable. I felt as if I were in limbo, suspended between hope and fear. I searched incessantly on the internet about possible diagnoses, but each piece of information only increased my anxiety. I tried to distract myself, watch movies, read books, but nothing worked. The pain and uncertainty consumed me completely. Finally, the day to get the results arrived. I went to the hospital accompanied by my friend, hands clammy, heart racing. As I entered the doctor's office, I felt a lump in my throat. He looked at me with compassion and said, "Anna, the tests confirmed the diagnosis of epilepsy." At that moment, the world seemed to collapse. The word epilepsy echoed in my mind like thunder. I couldn't believe it. Epilepsy? Me? It didn't make sense. Incredulity took over me. I had no family history of the disease, had never experienced any head trauma. How could this be happening to me? The doctor explained that epilepsy can have various causes, and in many cases, the origin is unknown. But I couldn't process the information. My mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. The fear of the unknown paralyzed me. What did it mean to have epilepsy? How would the disease affect my life? Would I have to take medication forever? Would I have to change my habits? Would I have to give up my dreams? Doubts and questions haunted me. The feeling that the future had become uncertain despaired me. I had always been an independent person who liked to have control of my life, but now I felt at the mercy of a disease that I didn't understand. The uncertainty of what was to come terrified me. I needed answers. I needed to understand what was happening to me. I started researching about epilepsy, reading books, watching videos, talking to people who had the disease. I wanted to know everything, from the causes and symptoms to the treatments and care, and above all, I needed support. I needed someone to listen to me, to understand me, to give me strength to move forward. I told my parents, my friends, my coworkers. At first, it was difficult. I was afraid of people's reactions, of being judged, of being discriminated against, but to my surprise, most people were very understanding and supportive. I received a lot of love, support, and encouragement, and that gave me the strength to face the disease. Treatment began soon after the diagnosis. I remember the first appointment with the neurologist, a caring man who explained everything about epilepsy, the types of seizures, the available medications. He warned me about the possible side effects and the importance of strictly following the prescription. I started with a low dose of an anticonvulsant, but soon realized it wouldn't be as simple as I had imagined. The side effects were harsh. At first, I only felt a slight tiredness and drowsiness, but over time, things got worse. Dizziness was constant, vision was blurry, and memory started to fail. I would forget names of people, where I had left my keys, important appointments. At work, it was a disaster. I struggled to concentrate, to keep up with conversations, to meet deadlines. Shame and frustration consumed me. Additionally, the medication caused me frequent nausea and vomiting. I lost my appetite and lost a lot of weight. I felt weak with no energy for anything. My body was changing and I couldn't control it. My hair started falling out. My skin became dry and lifeless. I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself anymore. That wasn't me. That was a shadow of the person I used to be. The seizures, despite the medication, kept happening. Sometimes they were mild, just some small muscle contractions. Other times, they were strong, with loss of consciousness and generalized convulsions. In those moments, I felt completely vulnerable, at the mercy of the illness. The fear of having a seizure in public haunted me. I avoided going out, isolated myself from friends and family. There were moments of despair. I remember a night when I had a seizure so strong that I had to be admitted to the ICU. I woke up tied to the bed, with tubes and wires all over my body. I felt invaded, dehumanized. The physical pain was intense, but the emotional pain was even greater. The feeling of helplessness, of vulnerability, of hopelessness paralyzed me. I tried various medications, one after the other, hoping to find one that would control the seizures without causing so many side effects. But each change was a new trial. Each new medication brought with it a new list of unpleasant symptoms. The struggle to find balance was exhausting. At a certain moment, the doctor suggested the possibility of surgery. At first, I hesitated. I was afraid of the surgery, of the risks, of the recovery. But after so many failed attempts with medications, I realized it was my only hope. I underwent various tests to assess my eligibility for surgery, and to my surprise, I was considered a good candidate. The surgery was a success. The seizures decreased significantly, and the side effects of the medications became more tolerable. But the recovery was long and difficult. I had to relearn how to walk, to talk, to perform the most basic tasks. Physiotherapy and occupational therapy were crucial to my rehabilitation. Throughout this process, the support of my family, my friends, and the medical team was essential. They gave me strength to not give up, to move forward, to believe that it was possible to have a normal life despite epilepsy. My mother, in particular, was an angel in my life. She accompanied me to all appointments, helped me in the most difficult moments, gave me a shoulder to cry on when I needed. I am eternally grateful for all the love and care I received. I still have moments of discouragement, sadness, and revolt. Epilepsy is a chronic disease that requires constant care and imposes limitations, but I learned to live with it, to accept it as part of my life. And most importantly, I learned to value every moment, every achievement, every small gesture of affection, because life is a precious gift, and we cannot waste it. Often we hear about terminal illness and palliative care as if they were the same thing, but there is a big difference between them. Understanding this difference can change the way we face serious illnesses and care for loved ones. Being in a terminal state means that the disease has reached an irreversible point, and the life expectancy is very short, usually months or weeks. It is a delicate phase where the main focus is to ensure the maximum comfort and dignity for the patient. Palliative care is much broader and not restricted to the end of life. It can be initiated at any stage of a serious illness, even when there is still the possibility of cure or prolonging life with specific treatments. The main goal of palliative care is to improve the quality of life of the patient and their family, alleviating pain, controlling other symptoms such as shortness of breath, nausea, and insomnia, and providing emotional and spiritual support. It is important to demystify the idea that palliative care means the end of the line. On the contrary, they can be a powerful tool to help the patient live the best way possible, enjoying every moment and maintaining their autonomy and dignity. Palliative care does not hasten or delay death, but rather offers support so that the patient can face the illness with more comfort and security. A multidisciplinary team, composed of doctors, nurses, psychologists, social workers, and other professionals, works together to offer comprehensive and individualized care, meeting the physical, emotional, social, and spiritual needs of the patient and their family. In addition to traditional medical care, palliative care can also include complementary therapies such as meditation, yoga, acupuncture, and music therapy. These therapies can help relieve pain, reduce stress, improve sleep, and promote the overall well-being of the patient. In my journey with epilepsy, I discovered the power of alternative therapies to deal with symptoms and stress. Meditation helped me calm my mind and reduce anxiety, teaching me to live in the present moment and accept my limitations. Yoga provided me with relief from muscle pain, improved my flexibility, and helped me reconnect with my body. Acupuncture, in turn, helped me control seizures and reduce the side effects of medications. These therapies do not replace traditional medical treatment, but complement and enhance its results. They showed me that it is possible to have a full and happy life, even with a chronic illness, and that caring for mental and emotional health is as important as caring for physical health. I believe that palliative care and complementary therapies can be a light at the end of the tunnel for many people facing serious illnesses, offering hope, comfort, and dignity. And then, when I thought I was finally finding a new rhythm, that life was getting back on track, the news of the relapse hit me like a thunderbolt. A routine exam, the kind we do without expecting big surprises, revealed the unthinkable. The illness had returned. The feeling was that the ground had disappeared from under my feet, that all the effort, all the struggle, all the hope had been in vain. It was as if I was stuck in a vicious cycle, doomed to relive the nightmare over and over again. At first, I refused to believe. There must be some mistake, I thought. It's impossible that this is happening again. But the subsequent exams confirmed the diagnosis: epilepsy epilepsy had returned, more aggressive, more resistant to medications. The new symptoms were frightening. More frequent seizures, more intense, accompanied by memory lapses, mental confusion, and speech difficulties. The fear of losing control, of hurting myself, of becoming a burden to others consumed me. The frustration was overwhelming. I felt like a marathon runner who, after running kilometers, sees the finish line move further away with every step. The energy, the willpower, the faith seemed to have run out. I had to face a new battery of exams, new medical appointments, new hospitalizations. And in the midst of this turmoil, the most devastating news: the epilepsy had progressed, and the cancer cells had spread to other parts of my body, setting up a scenario of metastasis. The fear of death, once a distant shadow, became a constant, palpable presence. I found myself confronted with my own finitude, with the fragility of life, with the uncertainty of tomorrow. The anguish was paralyzing. I cried, I screamed, I rebelled. But deep down, I knew I needed to accept the new reality, however painful it may be. I needed to find the strength to face whatever the future held for me, with courage, dignity, and hope. Psychological support has been crucial in this journey. Therapy helps me process my emotions, deal with fear, anxiety, and depression. The therapist teaches me to love myself, to value myself, to forgive myself for my mistakes, and to focus on the good things in life. Spirituality also plays an important role in my recovery. Faith gives me the strength to believe that there is a higher purpose in everything that happens, that I am not alone, and that I can find peace and comfort in God. I have decided to focus on living in the present, on enjoying each day as if it were my last. I dedicate myself to activities that bring me pleasure, such as reading, writing, listening to music, being with my family and friends. I travel, laugh, dance, love, and above all, I am grateful for every moment, every smile, every hug. I have learned that life is a precious gift, and we cannot waste it with fear, sadness, or regret. I know the path ahead will not be easy. I know I will have to face many challenges, many difficulties, but I am willing to fight, to persist, to never lose hope. I believe I can overcome any obstacle as long as I have faith, courage, and love. And above all, I believe I can turn my pain into strength, my weakness into resilience, and my story into inspiration for others facing similar situations. Life has taught me that even in the darkest moments, light always finds a way, and I cling to that light with all my might. Illness has taught me a valuable lesson. Life is a precious gift, a fleeting breath that could vanish at any moment. Before, I lived on autopilot, focused on the future, on plans, on goals to be achieved. I neglected the present, postponing happiness for an uncertain future. I believed that happiness was an achievement, something to be reached, and not a state of mind to be nurtured in our daily lives. Today, I have learned to live in the present, to savor each moment, to find joy in the little things. I have discovered that happiness is not in the future, but in the choices we make in the present. It is not in great achievements, but in small gestures, in smiles, in hugs. It is not in having, but in being. One of my favorite activities is to walk in the park, feeling the sun on my face, the wind in my hair, the smell of nature. Watching children play, couples holding hands, dogs running freely. It is a way for me to connect with the world, to feel part of something larger. Another activity that brings me much joy is cooking. I love trying out new recipes, preparing delicious meals for my family and friends. Cooking is a way for me to express my love, to take care of the people I love. The moments of joy are simple, but deep. A family breakfast, a tight hug, an unexpected phone call from a dear friend, a sincere compliment. It is these small moments that give meaning to my life, that make me feel grateful to be alive. I have learned to value relationships, to cultivate love and friendship. Before, I was more reserved, had difficulty expressing my feelings. Today, I am more open, more transparent, more vulnerable. I have learned to say I love you without fear, to ask for help when needed, to forgive and be forgiven. I have discovered that relationships are the foundation of our lives, providing us with support, comfort, and joy. I am grateful for my family, for my friends, for my doctors, for all the people who have supported me on this journey. I am grateful for my health, for my home, for my food, for all the good things I have in my life. I am grateful even for the illness, which has taught me so much about life, love, and gratitude. Illness has taught me to prioritize what really matters: my health, my family, my friends, my values. I have learned to let go of unnecessary worries, excessive demands, unreal expectations. I no longer care about what others think of me, what they say or do. I focus on being happy, on living my life in the best possible way, on doing good. I have learned that life is a precious gift, a miracle to be celebrated every day, and that even in the most difficult moments, we can find beauty, joy, and hope. I have learned that love is the most powerful force in the world, capable of healing all wounds and overcoming all obstacles, and that, in the end, what really matters is the love we give and the love we receive. Life and death, once distant and abstract concepts, have become constant and tangible presences in my day-to-day life. Illness stripped me of the illusion of immortality, confronted me with the fragility of existence, and taught me to value each moment as if it were the last. I used to fear death, saw it as an end, a defeat. Today, I see it as a passage, a transformation, a natural part of the cycle of life. I believe that death is not the opposite of life, but rather its complement. That life and death are two sides of the same coin, interconnected and mutually influential. That death is not the end of the journey, but the beginning of a new adventure, in a different plane, in an unknown dimension. I believe that the soul is immortal, that it survives the death of the physical body and continues to evolve in other planes of existence. I believe that death is not the end of love, but its eternalization. That love transcends the barrier of death and continues to connect us with the people we love, even after they are gone. The experience of illness has transformed me deeply, making me stronger, more resilient, more compassionate. Pain has taught me to value joy. Sadness has taught me to value hope. Loss has taught me to value love. Illness stripped me of my masks, showed me who I really am, with my qualities and my flaws. It taught me to love myself, to accept myself, to forgive myself. It taught me to be authentic, to express my feelings, to live my truth. Illness has made me more compassionate, more sensitive to the suffering of others. I learned to put myself in the shoes of others, to feel their pain, to offer my support, my affection, my solidarity. I learned that compassion is a powerful force that can transform lives, heal wounds, and bring hope. The legacy I want to leave is one of love, hope, and inspiration. I want people to remember me as someone who loved intensely, who lived fully, who fought bravely against illness, and who never lost faith. I want my story to inspire others facing similar challenges, to motivate them to take care of their health, to live intensely, and to never give up on their dreams. The importance of inspiring other people to take care of their health is fundamental. Health is our most precious asset, the foundation of our life. Without health, we cannot work, study, love, live. We need to take care of our physical, mental, and emotional health. We need to have a healthy diet, exercise, sleep well, avoid stress, cultivate healthy relationships, seek professional help when necessary. Living fully means enjoying each moment, savoring each instant, finding joy in the little things. It means loving intensely, forgiving easily, being grateful always. It means living according to our values, our truth, our essence. It means being happy, despite the difficulties, despite the limitations, despite the pain. For those facing similar challenges, I want to leave a message of hope and encouragement. Do not give up. Life is a precious gift, and it is worth fighting for. Believe in yourselves, trust in your strength, keep the faith. Seek support from your family, friends, doctors, support groups. Do not isolate yourselves, share your feelings, ask for help when you need. Remember that you are not alone. There are many people who care about you, who want the best for you, who are willing to help. And above all, remember that you are strong, you are capable, you are loved. With faith, courage, and hope, you can overcome any obstacle, face any challenge, and live a full and happy life. Believe in the power of healing, the power of love, the power of hope, and never, ever lose faith. Life is beautiful, and it is worth living. If there's one thing I've learned on this journey, it is the importance of listening to your own body. It speaks, whispers, shouts when something is not right. Do not ignore the signs, no matter how small they may seem. That persistent headache, the unexplained fatigue, the trembling that keeps appearing. Do not trivialize. Do not get used to discomfort. Seek medical help, talk to a professional, get exams. Prevention is essential, and early diagnosis can make all the difference. Do not be afraid. Do not be ashamed. Your health is your most precious asset and deserves all your attention. If I could give you advice based on my experience, it would be embrace your journey with courage, faith, and hope. Illness can be scary, painful, limiting, but it doesn't have to define you. Don't let it steal your joy, your peace, your essence. Believe in your inner strength, trust in your ability to overcome, keep the faith in God. Seek support from your family, friends, support groups. Don't isolate yourself. Share your feelings. Ask for help when you need it. Life is a gift, a miracle, a unique opportunity. Value every moment, every smile, every hug. Love intensely. Forgive quickly. Always be grateful. Don't hold on to the past. Don't worry about the future. Live in the present. Find joy in the little things. Nurture love and friendship. Do good. And remember, you are not alone. Believe in the power of life, in the beauty of love, and in the power of hope. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. With love and gratitude, I end this conversation, hoping that my story can touch your hearts and plant a seed of hope. May you feel inspired to live intensely, take care of your health, and cherish every moment of this precious gift that is life. Thank you.